Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? Quick update on roster cuts so far, and also guys trying to be traded. So the first one, we'll start off with Martavis Bryant. So I was wrong on that. My 53-man roster is already wrong with Martavis Bryant being released. Looks like they're really trying to keep Kaz Allen on this roster. They haven't said anything about Kaz yet, but I just got a weird feeling he's going to be kept on the roster. And I think this Martavis Bryant release kind of shows me that a little bit, or Byron Pringle, one of the two. So, but Martinez, I actually bought into him being on the roster after the touchdown catch and the block because, the whole blocking thing, the discussion with Jahan Dotson and Martavis Bryant does the opposite. It does a good job blocking and he shows, off the frame and big bodies the guy for the touchdown catch and forces two pass interferences. I thought that was enough to make the roster in my opinion, but it is what it is. That last six guy to me, honestly, is not going to really impact the team much. That's just my opinion. So I do wish Martavis the best. I think they're going to put him on the practice squad, kind of like what Dallas did last year. So I think Dan Quinn's going to do that. I don't think he's going to be claimed or anything like that. So I think he will be back on the practice squad in a couple of hours. Probably like when is the practice squad announced? Probably like 5 p.m. something like that. So I hope he is on the practice squad. I would like to see him on the practice squad because he hasn't played football in the NFL or touched the field in 6 years, 5 years, something like that. Um, and then other guy that got released, Davion Davis, the punt returner. Nick Whiteside got released. AJ Woods got released, the cornerback. And let me see who else. Yeah, Nick Whiteside got released. Davion Davis got released as well. When I say AJ Woods, the other cornerback got released too. But let's get to some of the trades that they're trying to make. So John Ridgeway, they're reportedly trying to trade him, and I'm looking at the tweet from John Keim. It says teams have been calling about him. So John Ridgeway is the guy that they put on the trade block here. I don't think you're gonna get much for John Ridgeway. I mean, he just hasn't done much in the league, And I actually had John Ridgeway making the team over Fedarian Mathis. So this means that Fedarian Mathis most likely is going to make the roster. So I'm wrong on this one. Since they're actually going to try to trade John Ridgeway, let's see what they get for him. At best, I think you can get a 7th-round pick or a 6th-round pick at best if they actually make a trade. I mean, teams can just wait and try to claim him off waivers. Oh, they released Mitchell Tinsley as well, which is not a surprise. It's not a surprise releasing Mitchell Tinsley. I like Mitchell Tinsley. He made the team last year, but he's another guy that I hope that they put him on a practice squad. But John Ridgeway, I mean, he's just known for the suplex. He did have that flag on the field goal against the Vikings. That was a boneheaded move. But other than that, he's been solid. He had a really good preseason. Like, I love the way, like, he does have some tape on in the preseason that I guess that's why teams are calling, because he had a good game against the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. And then he has had some good moments that 2022 season against the Texans where he suplexed somebody. And he's had a couple good games here and there, solid games. Not a lot of numbers or anything like that. No sacks in his career. Also, 0 tackles for loss in his career as well at DT. 24 tackles his rookie year and then 31 tackles his sophomore season, and a forced fumble in his rookie year as well. Like I said, Dan Quinn had him in Dallas and waived him. So I guess Dan Quinn likes him, but at the same time, same thing with Joey Jr. Both these guys, I've seen them before in Dallas, and they do the same thing that they did in Dallas and just released him. But Cole Turner, trying to trade him, I don't think you get a bag of chips. I don't think you can get nothing for Cole Turner. Shout out to the new name of the stadium. I forgot the new name of the stadium. Northwest Stadium. That's what it's called now instead of FedEx. But Cole Turner, you look at his numbers too, man. Underwhelming. 2 catches his rookie year for 23 yards. And then his sophomore season, 11 catches for 120 yards. His longest catch was for 29 yards. His sophomore season, 18 yards in his second season. 22% catch rate his rookie year, which is pretty darn bad as well. But Cole Turner, man, the story about him is he had a great training camp his rookie year. I thought he was going to come in and make an impact, being 6'7", being a big target, catch radius. He was a part of the Ron Rivera trade where we traded back. Jahan Dotson no longer here. Sam Howell traded away, and now Cole Turner, they're trying to trade him away. Basically, they're going to cut him before 4 p.m. because nobody's going to trade for Cole Turner. John Ridgeway, we might get a 7th-round pick since teams have been calling, but I wouldn't get my hopes up for John Ridgeway getting something back in return, to be honest, either on that. So Cole Turner, and he had a good preseason last year too. Like, he had a good preseason with Sam Howell. Like, the Ravens game, he looked good. The Browns game, he had a couple good catches. Like, he had some good games in the preseason, but it just never resulted to anything in the regular season. And then Eric Bieniemy just didn't even give him a chance to play at all. He was in the doghouse. And then against he wrote the story. If I said yesterday, if anybody wrote a story on how to be released or cut, or wrote a book on how to be released or cut, you look at the way Cole Turner played Sunday Night Football, where he had 2 drops, and he also had a holding penalty. He came back with a 25-yard catch, but it was just too little too late. Then he had a drop in the Dolphins game from Trace McSorley, and then he had a drop where it led to an interception in the Dolphins joint practice as well. So he earned the right to be released. He showed the way to be cut, and he deserved to be released. So Ron Rivera draft pick, 5th-round pick, unfortunate, will no longer be on the roster right now. I do think he would be claimed by somebody, but he'll probably be like on a practice squad or something like that if somebody picks him up. All right, let me see if there's any other news here. I may have to go live or something like that just to keep up to date with all the moves and whatnot. I know Noah Brown just got released. A lot of people are saying that we should get him. He had 567 receiving yards last year in 2023, which is pretty darn good, which is way more than any other receiver that is on the roster had last year. I know Alameda had a good season one year where he had like 500 yards, but that's about it. But other than that, man, Noah Brown would be wide receiver number 2 on this roster if he came here. So, but yeah, they did release A.J. Woods. They released A.J. Woods, Nick Whiteside, and Mitchell Tinsley at this point, and then Davion Davis, the punt returner, kick returner / wide receiver out here. And like I said, the big thing is I think Phidarian Mathis is now on the roster after them trying to trade John Ridgeway, because it was going to be one or the other, to be honest with you. So, all right, guys, let me know what you guys think about the move so far. Hell to Commanders. Peace.